Hi, Premier. And it may seem like a repeated question, but just people were getting a lot of questions, I'm sure you are too, about confusion about what's okay and what's not. We're told that we can gather in groups of 10, but then Dr. Henry said yesterday, try not to do that. So I'm wondering, is enough enforcement being done? Is the province doing everything possible that can be done to encourage people, to tell people to stay home? Are we being specific enough? Is the message getting everywhere it needs to go for those who aren't on these calls every day, who aren't listening to all this information firsthand?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lisa, for that question. And it's a difficult one to answer because we have been talking, me to you and Dr. Henry and Minister Dix and other of my colleagues and indeed leaders from across the country have been talking about how people should act for over a year. And I understand completely how frustrating that is for folks who have done their part and they've stayed home and they've not seen their kids. They've not visited their grandparents. They've not traveled to funerals to bury their loved ones. They've done all of the things that have been asked of them. And despite that, they see examples of people who are just completely disregarding all of the work that they have done. And it's not about disregarding the government for most people. It's about, hey, man, I'm doing my part. Why aren't you? And governments can do so much. The reality is the public has to be there. The vast majority are. And when there are egregious examples of people disregarding the orders, there have been consequences, whether it be the loss of a business license for a restaurant that decided that they were smarter than public health officials and wanted to not follow the lead of their association, their umbrella association, and other people in the hospitality sector. There were significant consequences. If you're not going to follow orders with respect to the number of people indoors, if you're going to have a party in your penthouse condominium, there are going to be consequences. So I believe we have had enough carrot and enough stick for those who are paying attention. For those who are not, it's a bigger challenge. And there's no sugarcoating I can do, quite frankly, to your question. My appeal is the same as it has been for over a year. Please, British Columbians, in the interest of not just yourselves, but all of those around you, follow the rules. Dr. Henry will have more to say on Thursday as we look at more data. And I believe, I'm very confident that the vast majority of British Columbians are behind this 100%. They want to say goodbye to COVID. They want the young people that we're highlighting today to have the types of jobs and careers that we aspired to when we were young people. I used to wait on tables. I know the challenges of that. I know the challenges that young people have every single day in a normal year. But during a global pandemic, it has been disproportionately on their shoulders. And we need to change that. And that means all of us working together.
Lisa, do you have a follow-up?
It's sort of in the same vein and sort of a bit about enforcement. People are being asked to stay in their own communities. Some have questions about what exactly is my community. Also, people have reservations on weekends for hotels, for houseboats, for campgrounds. Is it time for the province to say you cannot make a booking if it's not in your community? You cannot book a campground. Like, it's not time for the province to be more stringent about what cannot be done?
Well, we have had discussions about that. We'll continue to have discussions about that tomorrow's cabinet, and this will come up again. There were suggestions that MLA should reach out to the B&B sector in their community and say, don't do any more bookings. And many are not. I heard a story of a restaurant that was entitled to open prior to the circuit breaker, shutting down because everyone in the restaurant was from somewhere else. And they knew that because it was a small community. So again, I think people are acting. The people that are listening, the people that are paying attention, the people that want to be part of the solution are acting. And again, we will use the tools that are available to us if we believe that they will be effective. But effective deployment of these rules is the challenge, and we've been talking about that for a year as well.